We're going to do some metal stamping. I'm working on a brass strip that I'm going to cut down to 2 inches using some French shears. These are just metal shears. So I'll mark the place where I'm going to cut. And then cut it off at 2 inches. Now I'm going to do the word persist on here. I need to make marks for where the holes are going to go because part 2 of this video is actually going to be riveting this piece onto a leather cuff. I want to mark the center, which since this is 2 inches wide, the center will be at 1, and that's where the letter S is going to be, and I'm going to work out from there. So what I have here is a metal stamp set from Impress Art. This is a 4mm set, and the name on this is Lollipop. So I'm going to start with my middle letter, that is an S. And on the side of the stamp, you see it's Impress Art and an S to tell me that that's the letter it is. If I see that facing me, I know that it's going the right direction. And so I want to be very careful to get this centered top to bottom. So I'm going to look over top of it and make sure that it's centered top to bottom. And I'm holding my stamp with 3 fingers, the bottom one braced on the metal bench block. I'm going to hold my ball peen hammer. We're hitting it with a flat end. I'm holding it way out at the end so that the head has the most force. And I'm going to strike it in the center 2 times to seat the punch. And then very slightly, I'm going to tilt up to north and then over to east, down to south, and over to west, tapping once in each of those positions, but very slightly. I'm only tilting very slightly. So there's the S right in the middle, and now I want to work my way either way. The letter that comes after the S is an I. And so when I line this up, and again I'm turning it so that I can see it, when I line this up I'm moving it so that the punch comes right to the edge. So that way my spacing is going to stay consistent. Holding it the same way I did before, seat it twice, northeast, south, and west, just a slight lean into each of those positions. I'm going to go to the letter before the middle, and that would be the R. And again, I'm going to position this so that my stamp is coming right up to the edge but not covering the letter. I'm just trying to keep my spacing consistent. Now to get this curvature out, I'm going to flip it over and hit it flat on the back. I need to also put the holes in here, and for that, because the second part I'm going to rivet this to a leather cuff, I want to make sure that the hole is aligned with the same size that my rivet is. So I need to use this particular hole punch with the Easy Riveter. And to do that, I'm going to take the punch side. There's one side is the rivet setter, and this is the punch side, and so you can tell the difference because this has some screw threads on it. It looks a little bit different, and this post on here is small, 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to take this and advance the guide down until it lines up with the hole that I've made, and then I'm going to twist just until it gives. I can feel the punch go through the metal, and then this is rotating easily, so then I'm going to back this out, and I'll do that on the opposite side as well. So you get a feel for how to hold it so that you can hold your metal in there centered and twist, and you can feel it give. You don't want to go down too far because you can actually break the bit off of the end of this punch, so when you feel it give, that's good enough. Okay, now I need to make this stand out. So I'm going to take my Sharpie marker. This is actually a Identi-pen, but same idea as a Sharpie. And I'm going to scribble right down in there. That's going to get some of this black marker down in the grooves of the whole of the letters that I just stamped into the metal. There are many ways to do this. This is just one of the easiest ways. And then once that dries, which it should dry pretty quickly, this is a white sanding block, just a light grit, fine grit sandpaper on this block, this foam block, and I'm going to sand the entire surface, and so that black stays down in the letters and the rest of it is back to the brass color.